Santa Monica business owner is offering a one-way flight. You get to go out of Los Angeles for the homeless leaving California. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to give you a one-way plane ticket. You need to go away from California. Is this going to work? Well, no, but this is how desperate folks have gotten in California. Let's get into it. Here we go. Cities and counties are desperate for fixes right now and spending way too much with no results, said property owner John Alley. So a Santa Monica business owner has launched a grassroots initiative to address California's growing homelessness crisis, stepping in where he says city and Los Angeles County leaders have failed to act. Okay, well, does any of this work? And the reason that we're focusing on this is because there's such top-down pressure for Los Angeles to clean up its sidewalks, clean up its streets, clean up its parks, clean up its school playgrounds, where you got people just squatting out, living an absolute utopian nightmare. Dystopian nightmare, not utopian. Roughly 3 weeks ago, Santa Monica property owner John Alley and fellow business owners in the Southern California city hatched a plan to help reduce homelessness on their streets through a targeted and voluntary family reunification program. We're going to get you back together with your family who will help you and support you. I got a lot to say about that. Their goal is to assist individuals who have been homeless for less than a year and are actively seeking help by reuniting them with loved ones in their hometowns where they're more likely to get the support that they need to succeed. On its surface, this sounds great. And you know what? A lot of cities, a lot of towns, a lot of groups make that kind of thing happen. Hey, you want to go home, see your family, get some help, get into treatment? I do. You know what the problem is these are people that have only been gone for a year. What about all the other people who've been homeless for years and years and years on the streets? Just doesn't really address them at all. They're just like, well, or just, shenanigans all day long, and we just let it rip. And that's why you've got such an issue with homelessness in California, because there aren't any real programs where they involuntarily put people in treatment. They involuntarily put people in mental facilities where they can get the help that they need, the medication that they might need, nor do they put them in prison. So they just kind of allow people to go wherever. Now, the longer somebody's been on drugs, the more likely it is that their family doesn't want them back. Doesn't want them back. The best example I can give of that is Steve Irwin. He's the guy who was digging with a backhoe in a park. Dr. 𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣. Am I saying that name right? I'm not sure. He was literally mining for gold and for diamonds in a Seattle park. He kept getting arrested, got tossed out, arrested, tossed out. I was doing some kind of live stream or shooting a video with Andrea Suarez of We Heart Seattle and Jeremy Harris of Como, and he allowed me to interview him. And as I was doing that, his mom reached out to Jeremy and said, hey, that's my son. I haven't seen him in years. I'm watching him on this guy, his live stream. And so Andrea Suarez got involved, and she asked the family, hey, do you want to have Steve come back and get some help with you guys? And they're like, nah, no, not so much. He can come back when he's sobered up. But these hardcore addicts, they burn all their bridges on the way out. And that's why they often have to leave. They are no longer welcome at home. Nobody wants to help them because they burn those bridges so many times. They've stolen from their families so many times. They've screwed people, everybody around them, because they're addicts. And that's what they do. So this notion of helping people that have only been there a year, all right, and a voluntary family reunification program, you're kind of banking on the fact that some people might want their loved ones home. Most of them don't. They're like, hey, you made the decision to go down this road of drugs and addiction. We're going to ask you to make the decision to get yourself into treatment or rehab or whatever. And if that's not the case, we don't want to have you around. Steve Irwin's parents, Our mom was just like hardcore no-go. No, don't want him back. The guy's a liability. Most of these addicts are huge liabilities. So, and Andrea Suarez, most all of those entities that are, trying to help folks in the homeless industrial complex system, they're going to work out ways. If you really want to get some help, they'll get you into treatment. If you really want to go home, they'll figure out a way to make that happen one way or the other. But most of these folks don't want that to happen. The 187,000 homeless folks in the state of California, they don't want that. Vast majority of them, they don't want any help. They just want to keep doing their drugs. So while this is a valid program, it's not a program that's really going to move the needle all that much, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Through the nonprofit Ali co-founded, the Santa Monica Coalition, a small group of local donors personally fund travel expenses for these trips. They've also implemented an AI-powered hotline to efficiently handle the flood of incoming requests. Since the program's launch in June, the hotline has received over 500 calls. That's a lot. And they've completed the reunification process for 8 people so far. So a lot of groundwork to put one of these reunifications back together, right? And there's no guarantee that the people are going to go into treatment. There's no guarantee they're not going to absolutely steal from their family when they get home, destroy something. Who knows? I mean, they're addicts, right? They're going to be bringing drugs on board, that whole thing. I mean, it's crazy. I think it's a scalable solution that'll work over and over because there's motivation, Ali told Fox News. And this is as valuable as an asset when cities and counties are desperate for fixes right now. That's the thing. That's why this is getting airtime. Desperate for fixes. Because you got the Olympics coming. You got the Paralympics coming. You got the World Cup coming. You've got Gavin Newsom running for president in 2028. And that's why he is putting such a emphasis on cleaning up the homeless problem, because he knows that all Republicans are going to have to do is just show endless footage after endless footage after endless footage of California, of Los Angeles right now. That footage is out there. You can't clean that up because these are people. You can't just bottle people up and send them to the dump. Ali shared videos of 2 people boarding trains and planes to their homes in Pennsylvania and Wyoming. They talked about feeling unsafe living in California because it is unsafe and wanting to reunite with their families. Those would be the exceptions. The vast majority just want to do their drugs, don't want to go home, don't want to deal with family because family hates them because they screw their family. Ali hopes to eventually transition the project to a nonprofit organization that's equally committed to the reunification model. He believes the simple strategy is going to have a bigger impact than housing and other expensive, frankly, go-nowhere methods that are being tried and have been tried over the last 3 or 4 years by the local government. It's because they're people. And you're going to have to involuntarily put them somewhere if you really want to get them help. But we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. Everybody watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and decided, well, no more mental institutions. That's a massive oversimplification, by the way. And we're not involuntarily putting anybody into treatment. They can make that decision when they want, is the harm reduction theory, right? How is that working out? How's that working out for California? They're desperate to get rid of as many homeless people as they can. Fly them out of here. Don't really give a damn. Don't really care. Fly them the F out of here. Get them out. Get them out. Get them out. That is the massive emphasis. And this thing here, it'll help some of the new folks that have come to LA. A handful, right? The homelessness and the crime is increasing at the same rate as as increase in funding. Yeah, it's one of those correlations. The more homeless you get, the more funding it's going to take to keep track of them, and the more funding you put into it, the more homeless you're going to get. And that's not a good sign. It shows it's not working. Ali said the program isn't intended to help everyone, but it's one step in the right direction. Okay, I'll give them that. It's a step in the right direction for a very tiny, small percentage of those whom are homeless. But for all the other existing homeless folks, this doesn't do anything. And that is the major problem. But it's a step. in the right direction. There's different levels of homelessness. Ali said there's mentally ill people who need drastic help, institutional help that we're not equipped to help. Okay, yep, you hit it right on the head. These are drug addicts, alcohol addicted that need help with special programs. Our program is focused on those who have been here for less than a year and they're motivated. They're contacting us. All right. I mean, it's not a bad program. It's a good program. And yes, it'll work on a limited scale. Does it solve all of California's homeless problem? No, of course not. Of course it's not going to. Because you don't have the political will to make the massive homeless issue actually apply something to it that puts a dent in it. They're not doing that because this is California. This is, hey, man, let it happen. Just when they get to it, they'll get to it. Meaning when the addicts want to clean themselves up, that's when they'll clean themselves up and not a minute too soon, a minute sooner. Participation in the program is open to anyone who meets a few criteria. Candidates must have identification to travel through the airport. Man, that is a big one with the homeless community. I lost my ID. I don't know where it went. They're so whacked out that they can't keep any of their personal possessions on them. They just can't. And a family member or friend must commit to receiving them upon arrival. Or what? You're not going to send them? You're still going to send them. Ali's team personally verifies these arrangements with family beforehand to confirm their willingness and capability. This doesn't have anything to do with their drug addiction, with their alcoholism, with their mental issues. We're just putting them on a plane, getting them out of town. That's what this is. This should be the get the F out of town program. We don't care what you do once you get to the other side. Just get the F out of town. That's what this should be called, right? Each participant must also sign a waiver agreeing that going along with the program of their own account, because Lord knows a drug addict might sue down the road. Hey, you coerced me into making this happen. Ali says the county and city solutions aren't helping the situation and made the tourist destination a hotbed for violent crime and homelessness. Okay, yeah, but it's not just the homelessness that's creating violent crime. You've got policy stacked on top of policy, stacked on top of policy that's done that. You've got political leadership in California that has allowed things to go this direction. Not all cities, but a bunch. And they're all blue, right? They're all blue. Our city has been taken over by the mentally ill and addicted who desperately need help. Sadly, many of them refuse shelter and services. Yep, because you're not voluntarily putting anybody anywhere. City managers, city leaders hide behind policy adoptions and limitations as their reasoning for not taking action towards resolving the human catastrophe at hand. Meanwhile, their lack of political will makes for everyone's losses. I'm going to skip down in this article to the point that I want to make here. Santa Monica City told Fox News that it had started a reunification program, addicts with their families, in 2006. All right, so we've had one for almost 20 years, and a lot of cities have this. City of Santa Monica's long-standing reunification program, homelessness prevention and intervention, the HPI division, called Project Homecoming. Project Homecoming was launched in 2006 and has reunited over 3,200 individuals over 20 years. Well, 19. Let's not exaggerate. 3,200 individuals over 19 years and are experiencing homelessness within the city of Santa Monica with family and friends living elsewhere. Individuals are identified by our trusted and professional partners who perform outreach within the city of Santa Monica on a daily basis. Here's what I would say to that. How's that working out for you, Santa Monica? Oh, massive push, coming up with new ideas. Hey, this is something that the city isn't doing quite right. So, I mean, what you've got going on here with the business owners, they're just trying to come up with something, anything that'll get them some traction, get this thing going in the right direction. All right. I mean, what I would say is it's better than nothing. Is it going to be the golden tool? 3,200 individuals. You got 187,000 homeless folks in the state of California. 3,200. And of those 3,200, how many got off drugs? Probably super small percentage. Of those 3,200, how many are currently still homeless? Because a lot of people go home and they're like, man, there's a reason I left here. I just want to go out and do drugs? Why wouldn't I just want to go out and do drugs? Good question, right? So this is kind of an example of homelessness and how businesses are having to adapt. Orwellian clip shows dystopian robot horror that's become new normal in crime-plagued Los Angeles. What you've got is... Take a look. You've got like an Uber Eats robot here. Here's Johnny the robot. And he is literally being programmed how to identify homeless dummies lying on the sidewalk, because that's the reality in Los Angeles. That if you're going to launch a robot that has some AI built into it and has sensors and is recognizing, oh, that's just a person who may be dead, but more than likely they're sleeping off the effects of fentanyl, got to go around him. Got to go around that guy or gal or whatever. And this is literally what they're doing. You got to move around homeless and passed out people. That's how bad things have gotten. Is businesses who are considering who in the world sends a really expensive robot onto the streets of Los Angeles. Right? I wouldn't be sending anything out there, because it's like this. You send Bobby the robot or whatever, Robbie the robot, and he's just, going along street after street after street like this. At some point in time, somebody's going to jump out of this tent and just, Robbie the robot is done, right? It's going to take a whiz on him at the very best, going to destroy him, going to kick him, going to try and rip him open to see what he's got in there, see what food he's got. Get that Coke in there. So yeah, this is literally a response to how bad things have gotten, is that tech companies, Los Angeles is now so rough, tech companies are buying dummies to use as fake homeless people while testing their new delivery robots. Man, if that isn't an example of a city that has failed, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? Just like, doing what? Oh, horrible. The wheel devices have been filmed maneuvering past mannequins sprawled out on the City of Angels' grimy sidewalks while being tested for food delivery firm Serve Robotics. They're doing a little beta testing. Is it going to work out? The problem is with this little test run, the fentanyl addicts are wildly unpredictable. They're angry. And they just do crazy shenanigan things. Just absolutely bonkers, right? Just mind-blowing. Because they're just addicted to drugs, and they're going down that whole lifestyle. And they just live on the streets, and it's the greatest thing ever. Till it's not. And the problem with that is the unpredictability of the homeless folks. How are you going to train a robot to deal with that? Hey, there's somebody whacking on me with a garbage can. Does he go into turbo mode and escape? Well, he runs right into the middle of another encampment, right? I don't know how that's going to go. Again, putting a delivery robot into the middle of Skid Row, to me, that sounds difficult at best. In the latest footage, a stunned witness shared a clip of the device after catching Serve Robotics engineers testing their device on the sidewalk. It's quick. Here we go.
Once we capture that, we are making it's testing in progress.
Yeah, it's just funny because my mind went straight to, they better learn how to dodge all that.
Yeah. And it's more important to be safer and aggressive.
And dodge lawsuits. That part.
It's wild, right? You're just left with, we're doing what? And here's a tweet. Instead of Newsom and Bass addressing California's homelessness crisis, they're spending money on teaching robots to simply go around. Yeah. It's like patching a leaky roof by redirecting the rain rather than fixing the hole. All right, go over there. Don't drop through this hole. Don't drop through the hole. Instead of cleaning up the homeless situation, we've decided to get a robot that goes around them. Whose brilliant idea was this? Newsom or Bass? Why do people watch dystopia movies? Bro just moved to California. That's pretty funny, right? I mean, While California struggles with 187,000 homeless individuals, New York follows with 158, then Washington with 31,000, and Florida with 31,000. Between 2021 and 2022, California spent $7.2 billion on its homeless population. Equates to 41,000 per vagrant. The total spent on homelessness in the state over a 5-year span, reaching over $24 billion. You've already got these programs in place. Is it gonna move the needle? No. Because you've built it and they will come. Meaning you've created all the programs, you've created all the support for these addicts to just do their thing unabated without any kind of accountability factor. Hey, we'll give you housing, but you got to be sober. Got to take a piss test. Not doing that. And so until there starts to be some form of barrier entry for all this stuff, why wouldn't you go to California? You know, it's a little hot in the summer, but the rest of the other 3 seasons, pretty good. So a lot better than being homeless in like North Dakota, right? I mean, doesn't that sound terrible? Absolutely awful. Horrible. Or where I go in Thanksgiving, visit my parents, how about Oklahoma City for being homeless? Ugh, freezing cold in the winter, blazing hot the rest of the year. And you get a little bit of spring and a little bit of fall, but those go by like that. So this notion that there's a program that's in place that's actually going to have an impact, you got nothing. You got the big goose egg. Now, you got feel-good stories like this, and yeah, people are going to feel good. Hey, that guy's doing something. Well, Santa Monica needs help, and this is at least a step in the right direction. This is let's feel better about how things are going, knowing full well that nothing is really going to change, but at least our attitude and our ideas towards maybe something that's going to have a tiny little positive impact will, because the numbers alone tell you what you need to know. 7.2 billion, 41,000 per vagrant, 24 billion total, 3,200 helped into some kind of situation where they go back and see their family. And that's over 19 years. Nah, you're not working on that 187,084 homeless folks anytime soon. You're not reducing that anytime soon. So all this stuff, all these campaigns against the homelessness, it's just talk. It's just nonsense. It's lip service is the word I'm looking for. Words. It's lip service. It's not really going anywhere. Which, in my case, means podcasts for days, weeks, months, years, and beyond. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for being here. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.